We want to take you right now to the Lebanon County District Attorney, who is holding a news conference on an officer-involved shooting.
Collision caused serious injury to the 70-year-old driver. Colon then lost control of the stolen car, and he crashed into a nearby field. The South Lebanon Township officer was the closest to Colon and the stolen vehicle. The officer pulled his car over, exited, and directed Colon to desist and exit the car. Instead, Colon got out of the vehicle with that handgun and fled on foot. Colon fled onto nearby Route 422, and he started to approach oncoming traffic with that gun in hand. He went to a civilian vehicle and again tried to carjack a civilian at gunpoint. He failed. At that point, Colon turned his firearm on police. He approached a marked Lebanon City Police vehicle, gun in hand, and tried to carjack that officer at gunpoint. He failed to gain entry to the police car, and he fell to the ground. When Colon got off the ground, he had that gun pointed directly at law enforcement. The South Lebanon Township police officer fired 2 rounds. No one was injured as a result of the gunfire. After our investigation, we have determined that the officer's actions that day were appropriate and they were justified under the law. The officer feared at any moment Colon could use that firearm and take the life of any one of the civilians on the roadway, any one of the fellow officers on scene, or that officer himself. The South Lebanon Township officer's actions are wholly justified as a result of the danger created by Colon, the armed gunman. Now, in the interest of transparency, we did prepare some clips of video from the officers that day, as well as still shots from that video, to fully illustrate the dangerous conditions, the dangers to the community and the police that Colon posed. Now, the first video you're going to see, this is from the South Lebanon Township officer's car. And as the officer is driving, he approaches and sees Colon here in the stolen vehicle, and he tries to pull that car over. Now, at this point, police already knew that Colon had done an armed robbery of a pedestrian, had stolen that car at gunpoint, and now he is driving the wrong way down Cumberland Street at a high rate of speed. He continues down 422, he's weaving in and out of traffic, and when we get to the next clip, this is on Route 422. At a certain viewpoint, you will see the screen darken and there's a gray circle in the middle. That circle highlights Colon as he's driving down 422, weaving in and out of oncoming traffic and through his own lane of travel.
Which way are we facing here, east or west?
You're facing towards Myerstown here.
East.
Now, at this point, Colon has caused that collision on Route 422 right at the intersection of Narrows Drive. He struck a pedestrian or a civilian vehicle. It was red in color and caused serious injury to the driver. That vehicle was disabled in the roadway. Thereafter, Colon loses control of his car and crashes into the field. The South Lebanon Township officer parks his car here, and he spends minutes asking Colon to get out of the car, desist, give up, submit to law enforcement. Colon does not. He gets out of this car and winds up running through this field right, and the roadway to the right of the screen is 422. He approaches a car coming towards him with the gun in hand and tries to carjack that civilian. Now, the next screen that you're going to see, there's two different camera angles you're looking at. On the left is the video from the South Lebanon Township officer. On the right is car footage from the Lebanon City Police Department. The South Lebanon officer was closest to Colon and the incident. The car from Lebanon City was 2 cars back. You were able to see on the Lebanon City Patrol car the actions that Colon takes in carjacking that vehicle, as well as the actions he tries to take to carjack at gunpoint the Lebanon City Police cruiser.
East through field.
The timing of these two videos was aligned, so you were able to see from the Lebanon City Police car what the South Lebanon Township officer was facing. And you would note that as soon as Colon fell from that vehicle, he immediately came up with that gun in his right hand. Now, understanding that the video is difficult to see one time, as opposed to our investigation where we watch it over and over again, we pulled some still shots to further illustrate what the officers faced. So this is the vehicle collision that he caused at 422 and Narrows Drive. This is what caused Colon himself to lose control of the stolen car and crash into the nearby field. At that point, the stolen car is disabled. He can't flee in that vehicle anymore. This is Colon at the civilian vehicle on 422. So after he gets out of the stolen car, gun in hand, he runs up to this red SUV and tries to get into that driver's vehicle. He's unsuccessful. You can see here his hand is actually on the driver's side door. From there, the Lebanon City car is almost directly across from him in the opposite lane of travel, and he runs right for it. And Colon goes up to that car, gun in hand, and the driver's side door of that city patrol vehicle, unfortunately, is able to open. And he's able to get himself farther and farther inside with that firearm in his hand. At this point, the South Lebanon Township officer is over to the left, and this viewpoint comes from another Lebanon City Police vehicle a bit farther back. The city officer is able to pull forward and start to drive away from Colon. That, frankly, is what saved that officer. As that vehicle pulls forward, Colon then falls to the ground. And you would note he comes up immediately with that gun in his right hand. And that gun is pointed directly at the South Lebanon Township officer. And this viewpoint right here is the viewpoint that our township officer had when he fired those 2 rounds. With the actions he took that day, Cesar Colon attacked our community, our residents, and our police. He is facing multiple felony charges as a result of his actions, and I am personally handling that prosecution and that trial if it comes to be myself. He is detained in jail on $1 million bail set by Magisterial Judge Anthony Verna. This case has a very clear message to those criminals who want to bring their lawlessness and their violence into Lebanon County. Don't. Our police officers will pursue you. They will arrest you, and we will bring you to justice. My office will undertake every effort possible under the law to hold violent criminals accountable and protect our community. It has never been a more dangerous time to be a police officer right now. This still shot, the actions of Cesar Colon, are the prime example of that. And we want to commend the actions of every officer involved that day for the safe ending of this and making sure there was no loss of life. I will entertain questions at this time.
What's the present condition of this 70-year-old gentleman who was in the van at the truck?
He was initially taken to the medical center for treatment. He did have to have some serious treatment done to him. We are in hope that there will be a full recovery at this point.
Has he been discharged from the hospital?
To the best of our knowledge, yes. Matt, that was your question. Anyone else? Okay, I appreciate all of your time. Thank you.
Can you provide the stills and the videos to us?
So Tanya, our office manager, is in the back. She has a written copy of our press release. That copy will be emailed to each of you as well as the still shots. We are not going to send the videos out, but the still shots from that video will be given to media as soon as we're downstairs. Thank you. Does anyone need anything else from this? You okay?
This balloon was scheduled.
So you just heard the Lebanon County District Attorney give us an update on the officer-involved shooting that happened back on November 7th. It involved Cesar Wilkins Romero-Colon. And we saw for the first time patrol video footage of what happened that day. And we're told that it was a several series of carjackings. There ended up being a crash. And then after the crash, the video shows Colon trying to get into a Lebanon City Police vehicle. We saw footage at that point that Colon had a gun in his hand that was pointed in the direction of officers once he had been moved out of that car by the officer that was trying to drive away of the car he was trying to get into. And that's when we are told that the shooting occurred that injured Colon. He was taken to the hospital after that. Now, what we learned in this news conference today is that the DA says the use of force in that scenario was justified after showing us several videos there.
Yeah, and as in that press conference, you can also see that the danger it caused to the public. We had an update on the injury for the victim that was involved in that collision that took place at the intersection, as well as an update on why the officers fired their gun earlier in that day. Now, we do know that he's facing multiple charges, and as you heard DA Pier Hess Graf say that she will continue to follow this case and continue to seek those charges in this, and just know that Fox 43 will be following this closely.
And of course, we'll have much more footage. She did say that she was going to provide those videos and materials to the press, so we will have those coming for you a little later today on Fox 43. For now.